Evening. Welcome to the RSU 14 Wyndham Raymond School District Board of Directors meeting. Today is Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. The time is 6:30, and this evening we're in the Wyndham High School Library. Typically we meet in council chambers the first Wednesday of the month, but they are using that chambers for election purposes, so we are here in the library. May I have a call to order, please?
Sure. Kate Fritz.
Here.
Jessica Bridges.
Here.
Marge Gavoni. Here. Jody Carroll. Jenny Butler.
Here.
Scott McLean. Kate Levier.
Here.
Shar Jewell.
Here.
Al Potter.
Here.
Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Howe is not joining us this evening. He's attending the National Superintendent of the Year Gala event in Washington, D.C. And he just sent us a picture in his tuxedo, and it looks mighty fine. Adjustments to the agenda?
There are no adjustments.
Thank you. Any public comment? Seeing none, we're going to move right into the superintendent's report.
Sure. So we would like to start off with recognizing the Wyndham High School field hockey team. They are playing their championship tournament tonight at 7 o'clock in Biddeford. We are so proud of them. They've been through quite an ordeal. Really impressive to get to that level of play. So thinking of them, and the high school administration is joining them this evening, as well as many families. I believe Pete Hensler is there as well. Wyndham High School boys soccer lost in overtime last night in the regional championship in Sanford. Wonderful job at getting that far. We're sorry that they weren't able to make it all the way, but very proud of their efforts as well. Wyndham High School Little Shop of Horrors opens next week, so listen carefully. November 11th, 12th, 18th, and 19th. Performance will be at 7 o'clock p.m. in the auditorium, and on November 13th and 20th at 2 o'clock p.m. Oh, we were here walking the campus, Superintendent Howell and I, when they were delivering the plant. And it brought me back in time to my days in that performance when the plant arrived from New York City. It is quite a plant. I have never forgotten. So get out and see that show if you can. I'd like to thank the Transportation Department and Wyndham Primary School and Manchester staff and Lisa Garno and others today, the safety team, the bus accident that occurred that we messaged about. Obviously, it's on the heels of another accident, always very upsetting, but everyone did a great job, including the students. The level of responsiveness was really impressive. Students just maintained a calm and helpful demeanor throughout that. It's always hard, especially with our youngest learners. So really impressed by everyone's efforts, and especially to the bus 4 families for their understanding and responsiveness and support throughout that incident this morning. If any child struggles tomorrow from that bus, please reach out to school administration or staff, counselors. Everyone's ready to help support them, because that can be quite a jarring experience, literally and figuratively and emotionally for sure. So staff are ready to help them. On a positive note, a shout out to Raymond Elementary staff and volunteers. They held a pre-K and kindergarten fall festival on October 21st. Students were outside, had wonderful activities, great day to celebrate fall in the state of Maine. And Wyndham Primary School staff, students, and volunteers held a similar fall festival the following day on Saturday, October 22nd. Many families turned out for those community events, so it was great to see that level of participation. And so that's what I have to know.
Perfect, thank you. I'm going to get to board roundtable, but before I do, I want to acknowledge Scott McLean's tenure on the board. I believe you were on the board for 6 years. And served on the finance committee, and he's chair of the Wyndham Raymond Middle School Building Committee and Facilities Committee, and just wanted to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything for board roundtable? Yes.
Okay, I just want to start off with the primary school had their very first, their assembly. They had an assembly at the high school with the Laugh Factory. I got to hold the door open for all those little kids and they absolutely loved it. They had a blast. And then I just wanted to remind everybody to go out and vote next Tuesday. Really important. We have seats on the board and also, through your state. So it's really important to make sure you get out there.
Thank you. Anybody else?
So I sit on a couple of committees, finance, and at the last finance committee meeting, we talked about having more transparency into the budget making process. So it's easier for people that aren't experts in school budgeting to understand. Basically having a current budget year-to-date spend versus what's being requested for budget by line item. So that's something that's being considered and worked on to be able to develop that so we can make better choices and also understand what we're putting money towards and where it goes and how much has been spent year to date. Also in that meeting, also in the curriculum meeting that we had last, a couple of things. We had teachers talk about their, kind of their wish list and what's been going on and what they've been working on, and it was a really great meeting. But one of the things that really stood out to me was the number of representatives that talked about the number of staff who buy supplies out of their pocket. And since I'm on the finance committee, I was like, that really shouldn't be happening. So I would like to make it, or I'll add it to one of the things that I'm working on is to figure out how extensive is it that staff are buying supplies out of pocket and what we can do to solve that, because it shouldn't be happening, at least not on a grand scale. But definitely the feedback and the impression that I got from the speakers definitely made me feel like it happens more often than not, and I'd really rather not have that happen. I don't think it's fair to the students or the teachers. And then I'd also been thinking about ways that we could do some curriculum outreach with stakeholders, meaning students and parents, to have greater conversation regarding curriculum and why it is that we teach what we do. And in some cases we're mandated, right? And in other cases it's stuff that we think is important. So, and what's the difference? And just so for greater clarity and transparency, so that's something that I'm going to be looking into as well.
Great, thank you.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
So thank you very much for the acknowledgement, Kate. I just wanted to kind of say that I really have a lot of gratitude for the last 6 years serving on this board. I have zero experience with my interaction with the schools other than when I was in school and probably when I was not in school, when I was supposed to be in school. And then my interaction with my daughter's teachers when she was younger. I have a newfound appreciation for what goes into the operations of a school district. There is a lot of moving pieces and parts that take a lot of really talented people. And I feel very, very confident with the teachers, the leadership, the support staff, the community, that our school district is going in the right direction. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the board members that I've worked with over the last 6 years. And then also, I'm really happy that we have Chris Howell here that will continue to help lead us. I might be taken off, but you guys are definitely going to continue hearing from me. I'm going to remain active in the community, and I can pretty much guarantee you that you guys are all going to get an email from me from time to time, because I'm going to continue watching from afar. So again, thank you very much, and I really do appreciate the last 6 years.
Thank you, Scott. Scott has agreed. He's currently the chair of the new middle school building committee and has been for some time, and he has agreed to continue in that role. We still will have, who's on there? Marge, me, and Jody as board members will continue on that committee, but Scott has agreed to run the meetings, and I can't wait. I love that.
My commitment's much smaller now, though.
Yeah, you just have to open and close, and then you're
Right.
done. Okay, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
One other thing I wanted to bring up was that this past Thursday and Friday, Chris Howe, Christine Frostburton, Jessica Bridges, Jody Carroll, and I attended the main school board convention, and actually our videographer in the back there also joined. He's on the school board elsewhere. And I tell you, if any board member ever has a chance in the future to attend these, there's a plethora of great offerings in breakouts, and I know I came away with, as only I can, a bazillion handouts, and just a lot of just little kernels of thought. Wrote a lot of notes. Jody wrote a lot of notes. You wrote a lot of notes about how school board should function, and just different topics. There were a lot of attorney presentations there that were just really insightful and really great. And it's nice to be, excuse me, in a big convention room with school board members from across the state. And there were, I don't know how many hundreds, but we had a great keynote speaker, and the food was so-so, but anyway, it was really a good experience again, and I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to attend that. So other than that, if anybody else, nope. Okay, we're gonna move on to committee reports, and finance. Pete's not here, and I don't know that they've met since we've last met. No. Okay. This is your last hurrah, so go for it.
Facilities has not met.
Okay, very good.
The next middle school meeting is on Thursday, the 10th, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yes.
very good.
That's all I got.
Very good. Policy hasn't met. Curriculum,
We meet next Monday, the
okay.
7th.
And Jody's not here for technology, adult ed.
There's a meeting coming up. Off the top of my head, I do not recall when it is, but we're meeting soon.
Okay, that works for me. Marge, vocational. Marge is on Zoom joining us.
We have not met since the last meeting, which I reported out on. For November, I've asked Chris if he would give it because I won't be able to attend that meeting. They haven't figured out Zoom there yet, or they're not having it on Zoom. And I just wanted to really quick, because I really have a hard time hearing everything that everybody was saying. But I wanted to thank Scott for all. I mean, he's had great insight to a lot of material, a lot of action items. He has been great. He has been such an asset to being on this board. I can't say how much we'll miss you. But I know we will not miss you on the Wyndham Middle School Committee, though, because you'll be there.
Yes.
So good luck, Scott.
Thank you very much, Marge.
And finally, the most exciting part.
Yes, I have two quick things. First of all, if you've been walking around the high school in the hallways, you might have seen sticky notes all over everywhere. There must be over 1,000 sticky notes. The Social Justice League last night, or it must have been last night, because I walked into the school this morning and saw 1,000 different sticky notes with nice little messages on them all across the school. They went around and put little nice messages all across the building, which is super awesome. And Quiz Show the Wyndham High School Quiz Show team as a quiz bowl tournament this Thursday at Coney High School. So those are my 2 things.
Good luck.
Thank you.
By the way, nice article on your group.
Yes, that's
You know,
true.
when
Yeah.
you-
Thank you.
Nice recognition for your group.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 9, report of the secretary. May I have a motion, please?
I move to approve the minutes of the October 19, 2022 meeting.
Second.
Any public comment or discussion? All those in favor? We'll do it by voice. How about that? By
Sorry,
voice.
I was taking notes. By voice. Here we go. Kate Bricks,
Yes.
Jessica Bridges,
Yes.
Marge Gavoni,
Yes.
Kate Levier,
Yes.
Jenny Butler,
Yes.
Scott McLean,
Yay.
Shar Jewel.
Yes.
Okay. Is that?
Sorry,
Do you?
7.
I
I
know. but
didn't call the absent.
Oh, okay.
Should I call?
I think we're good.
Don't worry, you'll live through one.
We're going to move on to a really important topic for the district. We have a discussion before us on the emergency operation plan for 2022 and 2023. And I really want to acknowledge, you're going to see some folks before you soon who are part of this committee. Christine was also part of it, who really, really work hard behind the scenes to put together a really comprehensive safety plan for our district. And we all know, given the news and how safety is our most highest priority for our students. And I'm really pleased that we're able to discuss this tonight for the public, after which then the board will be going into an executive session where we will learn more, but that is not public information for obvious reasons. But we wanted to have a public session so that parents, community members, so forth, are aware that we take this extremely seriously, and we have what I think is a very, very comprehensive plan that is constantly changing as we learn more and more. And I know these folks have gone and had lots and lots of trainings, and I don't know how often you meet, but I'm sure you'll discuss that when you start presenting. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Christine.
Okay. Yes, it is a top priority. This committee, this team meets every week, sometimes more, for check-ins as needed. For example, today was our scheduled meeting day. We would have met regardless because of the bus accident. So I just want to walk you through a couple of the roles, the responsibilities, the work we do to give you a sense beyond the district emergency operations plan of what we're engaged in. Today's the example of an after-incident debrief. So the team met and reflected on how the morning went. As soon as we got the call about the bus accident, we went through the specific part of this plan that you'll see tonight as you jump into this document where it talks about transportation accidents, and we went through each part and each role within that plan, and do we need to make any adjustments? Is there something we could do to improve? So that's just an example of one thing that we do. We also provide department and school support. So we really know this document very well. Principals know it very well, but it's helpful to have a team that if there's any incident we become aware of, that we go right to this and we walk principals or assistant principals or whoever's involved, a director of a department, so that in those heightened moments you might not be thinking as clearly, so to have that team there ready to make sure that we're not missing something really important. We obviously work on reviewing this. One change this year is that we reached out to all building principals and asked for them to see if teachers were interested in coming to our meeting. They did join us recently as we walked through this plan and gave wonderful input into things for our team to consider. They gave us examples of drills and how they've gone and things that they do at their particular schools, but also some real insights into refinement work that we can do. So it was helpful to have them, and we'll continue to have teacher representatives come and participate in meetings each year as we prepare to provide updates to you all. I Again, we have our weekly meetings. We also provide professional development and safety drill support. The PD really comes from Officer Hudner and Officer Fournier. They go and meet with every staff in the fall to go over the standard response protocol and to answer questions and talk about any updates to the emergency management plan. The safety drill support is really the team. We get called, and we've done a number of them this year, where, let's say, Beth Peavy, if she's going to be holding a lockdown drill, she lets us know when we go as a team, and then we watch how that goes. We're not necessarily helping with the drill, but we're really seeing who's doing what, how quickly is the drill run, how efficiently, are there issues that we need to address from a security standpoint. So giving that kind of support to schools as well. So that's just an example of some of the work that we do. Bill Hansen, with his facility expertise, really looks at things like doors and locks and safety from a facilities infrastructure perspective, but we all kind of collaborate and have different goals. I'm going to turn it over to Officer Fournier a bit.
Hi.
Move into executive.
Good to see everybody. Like Kate talked about, we're not going to go into too much of the specifics of this plan as we get into executive session for obvious reasons, but it's very good for parents and the community to know all the hard work that we put into this district plan. One of the more important things that we do in our district is we put a lot of focus into training. So Officer Hunter and I will go to each building and we'll conduct those trainings. The big push for us in the time I've been here is really to empower our staff to make safety decisions to keep our students safe, right? There's two of us, whole districts. I want all of our staff to feel comfortable in making the right choices and the moment to keep all of our students safe, right? So making sure that they know what they're doing in the classroom to keep everybody safe. That's the big push for us. And then the other thing that's important for the community to know is that this is always changing, right? Officer Hudner and I go to very specific trainings, and we get the best practices across the nation and make sure that they're in our plan every week. So we're always current, always up to date, knowing what the best practices are. Unfortunately, the incident in Uvalde, Texas, there was lots of good lessons learned for us out of that incident. So with those, I've adapted our slideshow this year to include all of those best practices and all those lessons learned. So make sure that our staff is current on all those fronts. We're doing a little bit more this year. Some of the goals of the safety team is we're going to have a focus on reunification. Pre-COVID, that was a focus for us. We're going to get back to that. And we're also looking into ways to extend our safety plan to arrival, dismissal, and after-school activities. Right? Wyndham is very progressive when it comes to school safety, so now we're at the point where we're really pushing the envelope, trying to make sure we're as safe as we possibly can be, and that includes before and after school and athletics. So that's one of the focuses we have as a safety team this year and moving forward. Other than that, we meet, like Christine said, every week, and there's always a full agenda for us, taking staff feedback, things that have happened over the course of the week, and making sure that we're using that feedback to help with the plan. The teacher feedback was really, really great. We got a lot of great ideas that I just wouldn't have thought about, but the teachers in the room were really helpful in making sure that we were paying attention to what they needed. I'd like to, at some point, extend that to community parents as well, maybe get them on board to get some of their feedback as to the things that they need as a parent in the time of an incident, right? If, you know, your student is here, what's the first things going through your brain, and how can we help facilitate your ease through those kind of incidents? So those are the things that are on the forefront for the safety team as well moving forward. And other than that, the rest will be an executive session.
Any questions from the board? Just want to acknowledge, I know that our two police officers were mentioned, but also Bill Hansen, Mike Duffy, and Bob Hickey are also part of the group that we'll be meeting with this evening. And Officer...
Detective Sergeant Jason Andrews is also our supervisor.
Thank
he is
you.
part of our unit, supervises the SROs, and is part of our safety team as well.
It was on the tip of my tongue, but I didn't quite get it out. So thank you. So if there are no other questions, I like the idea of perhaps down the road having a community forum where parents can come and ask questions, and you know, your responses, of course, would be what could be shared with the public. but I think, given the climate, it might be a wonderful thing to do for the community. So I look forward to maybe planning that down the road. So great idea. And I'm also really appreciative that you're getting teacher voices, and I hope ed techs and other staff members in the buildings who have different points of view about safety. And I think many voices makes a great product. So thank you. If there are no other questions, may I have a motion to go into executive session, please?
I move to enter into executive session to discuss the RSU 14 Emergency Operations Plan and not return to regular meeting.
Second.
Voice roll call? No.
Kate Briggs,
Yes.
Jessica Bridges,
Yes.
Marge Gavoni,
Yes.
Kate Levier,
Yes.
Jenny Butler,
Yes.
Scott McQueen,
Yay.
Shar Jewell.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, folks, for attending.
Thanks, Al.
We are now